What up, guys, and welcome to the Man Cave Podcast. Today, I'm here with the legendary 905 Shooter. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Been stuck at home majority of the time. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just getting back to work. Had a nice Christmas break. What do you do for Christmas? Have some fun with the family?
Yeah, just with my immediate family that I live with. And that's really it. That's all we could do. We just FaceTime with my family. That's all. I mean, that's what anybody could do right now. And same with New Year's, you know. But forgot to mention, Happy New Year's to you and your
Thank
family.
you, man. Appreciate it. I see the Toronto flag there in the background. Is that where you're at right now?
Oh no. So I live in a city called Mississauga, which is like 30 minutes outside Toronto. But obviously, you have to rep the Raptors.
Okay.
You know. For some of those people who don't know, I don't like to say I'm from Toronto because I'm not actually from Toronto, unless like you're a local, you know what I mean? But
Right.
that's what I tell people who aren't familiar with the areas, you know what I mean?
No, I get that for sure. So, for those of you who don't
Yeah.
know 905 Shooter, famous for filming, photographer, videographer. You were Nelk's cameraman for how long did you actually work for Nelk?
Over 2 years now.
2 years?
Yes.
And you were their first ever cameraman. Is that correct?
Yes. Originally when I started, it was actually in 2016, like summer 2016. I was still working at Walmart, which I've told this story before. I was doing like part-time stuff. I was actually a photographer like way before, and I, knew Kyle through high school, and I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, do you want to take some photos for you? Like, I'm willing to do that for you because, like I'm just offering somebody who I know that's like, doing good for themselves.
Right.
And he said, yeah, like come along, take some photos for us, whatever. And then it was just like a part-time thing where like whenever I'm free, I will take photos for them. And then it eventually started where they asked me to start filming for them because they needed somebody to film them instead of just them kind of vlogging like in first person. They wanted to get a third person type of perspective now.
Right.
So I started filming for them part-time. I did a couple videos before I actually joined in September 2017. And that's when I became a full-time employee with them.
Okay. So how well did you know Kyle in high school? Like, were you guys friends, or you just more acquaintances, or like how well did you know him?
We're more just acquaintances, I would say, because I wasn't close with him, but I knew him through other people that I met. And like we would talk here and there, but we didn't have any like classes together. We didn't really see each other that much. And we didn't leave on bad terms or anything before like we left high school. So when I saw that he started doing YouTube, I was like, oh, that's really good for him. Like, like he's actually growing a YouTube channel that's actually doing really good, and the videos are funny. You know what I mean? So like I
Right.
kind of like reach out to them in hopes of like maybe like wanting to kind of be with them and kind of be a part of what they're trying to to grow as a channel, which they're doing really good for themselves now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, I mean, I know you guys aren't working together anymore, and we won't get into that, but that's super cool. I'm dying to know though, like, everyone from the outside sees Nelk as like this crazy, like 24/7, like, partying, all of that. And you guys came out and actually you filmed with me a couple of different times. And I think we hung out in California quite a bit as well, which was always a lot of fun. But I feel like people don't see like, that their life isn't constantly like a highlight reel. So what is it like on, things I know got crazier kind of after we did a few collabs, you guys did a bunch of collabs with a bunch of people and the videos were just going to the next level and things really took off. But what would you say like the day-to-day life was, filming and living with them?
It changed. It changes like differently, right? Because when I started, up until the end of 2018, it was just us three who were filming, editing, producing, uploading, and doing everything that like you see nowadays, right? Like with the promotions, the merch that you did. Like obviously they did that. Kyle and Jesse did the business side, but all of us collectively did the production, right? And so it was just us three wherever you went, well, whatever we filmed. And then 2019, when we moved to LA and lived there, is when like we started having like more full-time employees.
Mm-hmm.
And so it changed from 2019, I would say, when like the team started growing from just 3 people to like 7 or 8 people, right, including Steve, right? And when it was just us three, it was like we would travel nonstop, like just driving from city to city, just filming, and then while uploading a video, we'd be in the next city filming and editing on the road. Like I remembered, I would be editing in the car with a charger like plugged into the big outlet in the glove department, right? And I would just be editing for like doing subtitles and shit, and then we would have to go to like a motel, like or a hotel or whatever, and then just upload the video there, or sometimes go to a fan's house to upload a video, right? Because the internet slow. And so that was like the early days where, like, we were on a budget basically,
and
where
nonstop grind too. Sounds like
exactly like we would upload 3 times a week,
wow.
Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Really, I didn't know that you guys uploaded that much.
Yeah, we did that for I want to say 6 months consecutively. And I think in 2018 is when we started just pumping out 3 videos a week, and so as time went on, like obviously the schedule started getting more hectic, where like we would film from Wednesday to about Friday, right? Just nonstop filming, because we wanted to get the most content possible. And so from Friday to Monday, we would be just editing, just nonstop editing.
Okay.
Like I would edit some videos. This other guy, Austin, would be the main editor, where he had the montages, the effects.
Okay, like the cinematic stuff.
Everything. Exactly. He is the guy that would do everything, basically, in terms of editing, putting the final timeline together. And then we had another filmer named Adrian. We had another editor, Alex. We had Jason Ernie, as you know. He did all the, the stories, the promotions, like all that stuff. And it literally took to like the last minute to finish a video on a Monday afternoon, and then upload it like, right before 5:30 p.m.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I say this to a lot of people I meet in person. Like, you could just sit there and watch a 20-minute video, just relaxing and like having dinner, or just like being with somebody and just like laughing, right? And I remember people would like obviously be upset that like you'd be late uploading on a Monday afternoon or Monday night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like taking 2 hours to upload. But it's like, you have to understand that like what you just see on a video is quicker than what you expect behind the scenes, like producing and editing. And it takes time, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't happen in like a day or two. Like, it takes time to actually put things perfectly, like, in a video, and make it basically a TV show. And that's what it kind of turned into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of cool to watch the progress from the beginning to where it is now. So in the 2-year time that you worked with Nelk, what's your like best memory, and what's like the craziest thing that you saw go down that you can talk about at least?
Oh,
I'm sure there's probably a lot you can't say.
Well, there's a lot of things that just like, you had to be there to kind of witness it and tell your own story, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to like, I don't wish to bring stories from other people's perspectives, but I'd say the best time was maybe Europe. Europe was a really good experience because we all went somewhere new and exciting and a different country where like the culture is different, the people are there different, you know what I mean? Like, the lifestyles are different. Like compared to North America, just in general, to Europe, it's so much different. The people there are more nicer in a way. They're more polite. They're more like, you know, they're less. I don't want to generalize everyone, but they're more. They're less arrogant. They're
Right.
more open-minded people. You know what I mean? Like they don't like to judge other people, right? And that's the problem. Is that like we tend to just judge people based off of what you see, you know?
Absolutely.
And the moment, craziest moment. Okay, I have one.
All
And
right.
it's funny that it happened in this city. We were in Tempe, Arizona.
Oh,
Tempe,
really?
Arizona. I believe it was. Yes, yeah. This was
Was it over St. Patty's
2018,
Day?
right before we. This was before. This was in November of or December of 2018.
Was
Right
I there with
before.
you this time? Because I remember the first couple times we hung out, and then I think the next 2 or 3 times that you guys came into town, I either had family in town or I was gone,
Yeah,
so I didn't see you like half the time that you were here.
this was when we did the football game, ASU
Oh,
versus U
okay.
of A.
So I was there for that.
So yeah, we were in an Airbnb, and we just came into town late at night, and we got into a wrong plaza because there's like different complexes. We went to the wrong complex where our Airbnb was, and I guess this couple who was a fan of us saw Kyle like just wandering around trying to find the room or whatever or the place, and I guess they followed us to the Airbnb that we stayed at. So I was in the living room, and they were in their rooms. They're just like chilling, whatever. And I get a door, like I get a doorbell. Like the doorbell rings, and I look through it, and it's a guy, like a middle-aged guy, like in his 30s, with his
Hmm.
dog there, and I'm like, what the hell is this going on, right? And I go back and I just ignore it. He rings the doorbell a second time, and I'm like, I'm not answering it. And the curtains are open, and he starts like looking through the window,
What
and
the
he's like,
fuck?
hello, like he's trying to like get my attention. I'm like, like this is weird. I just walk out of the living room and I wait for him to leave, and then I close the blinds. So then his girlfriend, the next night, actually no, not even the next night, at midnight, his girlfriend comes, rings the doorbell, and I'm like, hi, like, can I help you? She's like, yeah, like me and my boyfriend who just came here earlier is a big fan of you guys. I have a pack of Coronas. You want to have some beers? Like, are the boys free? I'm like, no, like they're sleeping, right? And it was just kind of like an excuse to get her away.
Uh-huh.
And I was feeling uncomfortable because I'm like, how did they find us? Whatever.
Right.
So the next night, the boyfriend and the girlfriend come together, and this time Jesse's in the living room, and he opens the door, and they explain to him like, "Hey, we're a big fan. Like, we saw that you guys were in town, and we noticed that you guys were close by." And I guess because they kind of knew the area well,
Right.
and so they sat down. They had a couple beers. They're like, "Yeah, like we're a big fan of you guys. Like, here's a Buffalo Wild Wings jersey that we used in a video like later on, where we did the fake Buffalo Wild Wings employee,
Right.
right?" And so they were just talking, whatever. And and then after they leave, Jesse comes to us. He's like, "Yeah, like, he was telling some weird stories about how he snuck onto a tour bus of a rock band, and like started like acting like they were friends with everybody, and then the people there, they're like, who are you? Like, what are you doing on our tour bus? Like, can you get the fuck off our bus or whatever?" And then he says to Jesse, he's like, "Yeah, those guys are dicks, but like at least you guys are cool enough to like let us into your place or whatever." And I was like, that's like
That's
some
pretty
kind of
weird.
creepy vibe.
Yeah.
It is pretty weird. And I'm like, that's so strange, you know? Like that was just like mind boggling to me. That like people think that like it's okay to walk into a stranger's like house
So they weren't swingers
and
or
act like
anything?
your friend.
Like,
You know what I mean? Like, and no disrespect. No. Not I
I
mean,
thought that's where you're
I don't know
going
about
with it.
that. No, no, no. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's just kind of weird to
Yeah.
kind of
Well, I'm
like
sure that that happens
ask
a
a
lot.
stranger. Yeah, yeah. It's happened a lot where like people kind of like feel like they're buddy buddy with you, and like they want to
Right,
like be
right.
friends with you and talk to you like you're friends with them. You know, like
Yeah, it's a lot of
I don't
small
know, like
talk.
it yeah, like it's weird because like it's not the first time that's happened to me where like I've gotten into awkward situations where like they put me in a position where like they make me feel guilty that I'm like not saying yes to them. You know what I
No,
mean?
definitely. I feel that. Um, no,
Yeah. Like, what about
that's
you
super
though? Like,
weird.
have you?
No, I've had a lot of stuff like that, but nothing too crazy like that I can think.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to think of off the top of your head, but I've definitely had some weird situations like fans showing up at the house and like ringing the doorbell
yeah,
like late at night,
yeah,
even like 11 o'clock. So
yeah, yeah.
that's kind of it comes with the territory, I guess. But one thing
No, exactly. It's
that I
like
really wanted to know is like since what it's been probably about a year now that you haven't been working with Nelk. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you up to nowadays?
so. Last year, I actually started a small business,
Okay,
and I made it a freelance photography business. Right, so I started
cool.
doing freelance photography, and so for the first couple months, it was like kind of slow. Like I found a couple jobs where like I was able to do like a basketball tournament. I did an event for like artists and you know influencers of sort in Toronto, and it was like it was doing good for me. Like I had like a lot of going, like a lot of plans with a lot of people that I met, and then obviously coronavirus happened, and then quarantine happened, and so that kind of shut down everything in terms of like doing work, traveling, in person events, and all that. And even before that, like I went to the Philippines in January,
Okay.
and right before I came back, actually, sorry, after I came back, 4 days later they shut down flights to the
Oh
Philippines, and
shit! So
everything
did you
was just
barely
like,
make it out of there?
yeah,
I
yeah.
heard about
If
people
we
getting
stayed
like
there,
stuck in places. That would have been crazy.
yeah, yeah. So I knew a couple family members that actually got stuck in the Philippines because they couldn't go back home because of the travel restrictions, right? So they had to stay there for a couple of months, just staying wherever they're staying.
Right.
And the crazy part is that before I left the Philippines, I was staying in an island called Siargao, and there was actually cases happening around me. So like, it was kind of scary that like even in the Philippines, it traveled that fast within maybe 2 3 months of the outbreak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. And it was super scary in the beginning because people didn't really know what it was or how dangerous it really was. So I was pretty freaked out in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas now, like,
Yeah.
obviously it's still scary, but, and you still want to be careful and cautious of everything. But it's not like at first I thought it was just like straight up going to kill everybody, which people are
No.
dying, of
Yeah.
course.
It's
And,
it's
it's a sad thing. So I definitely acknowledge that. But like initially, I thought it was going to be like even worse than it is.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people expected it to kind of die down by like a couple months after, but here we are like a year later, and it's still
Dude,
a
that's
pandemic,
crazy.
a
It's been
global.
like a year. That's insane to think about.
Yeah, like it's been a year since, almost a year since I went back to the Philippines, and it's just like from March to July, like I basically did nothing. I always was at home. I barely went out. Like go for a few walks and all that, but like, um, yeah, like I just didn't do anything, and not just me, but a lot of people couldn't do anything in terms of work.
Right.
All the essential work was open.
So
Like
what are you
people
doing
were
for
losing
work? Like
business.
how have you been getting through the coronavirus since you started a small business and you kind of rely on you said like events and shooting with people and a lot of that to make money. Like how you've been handling everything?
So August is when I started releasing my own merch, which I did hoodies,
Oh
and so that kind
shit.
of gave. Oh,
You know
what's
I'm
funny? Yeah, no,
repping. You know I'm repping.
yeah, me too. So that was my very first hoodie that I ever sold. Um, and that did pretty well. That gave me a bit of income that like really kept my hopes up. And so in November is when I resold everything again, like hoodies and T-shirts this time. And so it did pretty good for me, but like even then, like it wasn't helping me financially. So like I kind of taken a break from it right now. But it's just hard in general. Like for anybody like me who's a small business who's relying on you know income through selling some like merch
Right.
and all that.
Yeah.
Um, like I know other people like it's easier for other people to kind of live uh, still a financially good life when you have a fan base, you have an audience that is going to support you no matter what. You know what I mean? Like you could like live well, and on top of that too, like you could travel anywhere when you have a support fan base that could actually help sustain your income.
Right.
You
Where
know what I
can
mean?
people find
Because
your hoodies at? Is it 905shooter.com?
905shooter.com is where you like to find my merch. I'm also planning to hopefully sell prints soon. So, I
That's
have a
cool.
couple prints that I actually did a giveaway. I did a giveaway, and that's going out soon to somebody. So, I'm hoping that maybe I could start selling prints this year. Because I have a lot of photos that I've you know archived for like the last 5 years now, and I
Right.
kind of want to let people have something to remember me for and my photos with. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
you know it's hard to kind of you know let your photos tell a story, and that's my kind of uh, my motive is to kind of post photos and let people see my photos and like tell them a story. You know what I
Yeah, no,
mean?
absolutely.
Because
One thing that I've thought about, and this is something that I've been wondering because I feel like it could do really well for you. How come you haven't started your own YouTube channel? Because I feel like that shit would blow the fuck up.
I see you and a lot of people have mentioned to me about starting a YouTube channel, and it's like that's a good idea for somebody who is probably so new to YouTube. You know what I mean? Like it, it's for me. It's just like it's hard for me to kind of do a YouTube channel, and I've explained this to my girlfriend before about like doing a YouTube channel. It's like nowadays it's so hard to grow a channel. First of all,
Right.
it's very hard to kind of find a niche that will get people interested and want to subscribe to you and you know help grow your brand. And the thing is like I would want to do it, but it's like how far can I go with a YouTube channel where people are going to be consistently wanting to have more of me uploading something? You know what I mean? Because
I think you could go pretty far, dude, to be honest. Like, you're one person that I would watch, and I don't watch YouTube. Like, if you were uploading, I would watch that shit. Like, even if it's you sitting in a room talking about something, like, I feel like you have a unique personality and something about you that draws people in, and I don't think you realize that. But I think that you could have a really cool YouTube channel.
yeah, I mean it's it's like it's half and half. Like one tells me to do it, which like I don't disagree with, but then my other side is like, how can I get creative with my YouTube channel? How can I upload videos that one will make me actually enjoy uploading it, and two, who is actually gonna like want more content from me that actually is um, inspirational or uh, like it teaches them. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's hard enough to be a creator, but then it's also hard too to kind of even teach now what you learn. You know what I mean? Like some people are extroverts, some people are introverts,
Uh
and so
huh.
it's hard to kind of teach people what you know. You know what I mean?
I think you're overthinking it, dude. I think 905 Shooter, the new channel, I'm gonna be your first subscriber. I think you need to start it. You got nothing to lose, right? Right? Why not just like, start a channel, upload a video, and see what happens? I'm not telling you what to do or
Yeah,
anything. I'm just saying
actually,
I would love to watch.
yeah, like I actually uploaded some of the montage videos that I posted on my Instagram to my YouTube channel already.
Okay.
So, and it's on my website too. Like I uploaded
What's your YouTube
the
channel? Is
web.
it just 905 Shooter? I can look it up on YouTube and find it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I believe it's .com. I only have 3 videos up there, which is all my montage videos, and that's like something too that I also want to kind of improve on is do videos because a lot of people have mentioned to me like, yo, like we need video content, we need somebody to edit videos and have a creative outlook on it.
Right.
And I've done a few projects before, but I've always ran into like not always, but I've ran into some people who kind of push my work aside because of like how they kind of want it to be versus what I wanted
Right,
to look.
right.
You know what I mean? And so some brands, I'm not going to mention who, but they kind of pushed my ideas aside because they didn't really agree with my creative final product that I produced for them, and they're just like, "Nah, it's not what we're looking for." I'm like, "Okay, like, it's your loss. Like, I did the best I could. If it's not good enough for you, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always gonna move on, look for somebody else who could give me a chance and is willing to let me show you what I could do." And
Good
that's
for
my
you.
problem
Staying
now.
true to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Would you consider
Yeah,
cereal
it's
soup?
cereal soup.
Right.
What is that?
Is cereal soup? Yes or no?
Cereal, a soup. Well, I never actually been asked that before. That's a really weird question. Now do you think about it? Well, soups are usually hot, right?
I
And
guess, yeah. Cold.
cereals are cold. So I don't know. I don't think it is.
Okay.
It's the same thing as saying is a wafer a cookie.
I don't really respond to political questions, but is a hot dog a sandwich?
um. Hmm. Uh, Technically, yes, because it's two sides to a bread and something in the middle.
Right.
I guess technically it is, but I never thought of it as a sandwich.
Fair enough. Like I said, I don't like to get political, so I'll stay out of that one. Couple more questions though for you. Would you ever go back to working for Nelk or another YouTuber?
Honestly, I wouldn't because I got to experience everything that I got to experience in terms of traveling, learning, meeting people, and I appreciate everything I did. I take nothing for granted, and obviously people could disagree with that you have your own opinions, but I won't go back because if you notice, like I wasn't that happy towards the end of my time there because I started as a filmer and a photographer, and I kind of got transitioned to an on-camera
A
personality,
character, right?
a character, and that wasn't really my passion. That wasn't really something I was fully in love with doing because I kind of got, pushed into it, and I kind of agree. And I'm not saying that they took advantage of me or anything, but I kind of willingly agreed to it because it was something new that I wanted to try. And it wasn't really something for me because it's like people don't understand that like what you see on video doesn't really translate to what goes off camera. Like things happen off camera where like it does translate into the videos, and like like I wasn't just happy, and I'd rather be broke doing something I love than be happy with something that sorry, I'd rather be broke doing something that I love than be unhappy doing something that makes me rich.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Good quote.
So it's a good more kind of motto that I live by, because if you don't enjoy something and you continue to do it just for the money, it doesn't really benefit your happiness.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
it's not fulfilling. Yeah.
Would you go back to like, say working for any other YouTuber if it was just like behind the scenes, like filming and editing, or is you just leaving all of that in the past?
I kind of stayed off of YouTube for that main reason, because there's so many other YouTubers that maybe would have a different outlook or a different sort of way of uploading their content. And I don't know, I like to work more independent now. Like I wanted to I don't want to be I want to be my own boss. I don't want to be controlled now by other people, or be someone have someone else as my own boss. You know what I mean? Because I have to follow you for what you want to do and not what I kind of want to do myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we may not always agree on everything. And I don't want to get in those situations again where like I have to, swallow my pride and then, be the bigger person and agree with you and do what you want me to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like so I kind of quit YouTube in a way where I want to work for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Good for you. Yeah. Glad that you found something that you really enjoy doing that makes you happy. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It means a lot. It's great to see you. If you ever make your way down to California or Arizona again anytime soon, let me know. Would love to see you again, man. I miss you. Where can the people find you at on Instagram? I know you got 905shooter.com, 905 on YouTube. That's your Instagram handle as well. Is it just 905shooter?
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, 905shooter, 905shooter.com. That's where you find a lot of like behind of my photos that like I don't really post on Instagram or are like, archived. And that's mainly where you will find me.
Okay. Right on, man. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, follow us, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.